Drew Barrymore tried taking her own life when she was just 13 and was to rehab before she turned 15. But how did she get here despite coming from a well-to-do family? Join us as we uncover many such untold stories about Drew Barrymore while also showing you some of her rare photos. Born on February 22, 1975, in Culver City, California, Drew Blythe Barrymore had some famous blood running through her veins. Her dad was an actor named John Drew Barrymore, and her mom was trying to make it big as an actress named Jade Barrymore. Now, Drew's journey started super early. She was just 11 months old when she showed up in a dog food ad. At first, it seemed like Drew was on track for a smooth ride in life, but then her parents divorced in 1984. Her world got all shaken up, and even though she was born into this fancy acting family, she didn't get the childhood of her dreams. Her dad had some problems with alcohol and drugs, and he just kind of disappeared from her life. And her mom, Jade? Well, she was trying to make it big in the acting scene and pushed Drew into it too, way before she was ready. It's like Drew had to grow up too fast and see stuff that kids shouldn't really see. But you know what? Even with all that mess, Drew had some really cool moments. When she was only 7, she made history by becoming the youngest person ever to host Saturday Night Live. That was back in November 20th, 1982, and guess what? Nobody's beaten that record yet, not even in 2023. Barrymore grew up in West Hollywood on Poinsettia Place, a cool spot. But then when she hit 7, she shifted to Sherman Oaks. In her 2015 book, Wildflower, she spills that she had this Valley Girl way of talking thanks to Sherman Oak vibes. Her early years were far from smooth sailing. She was like a regular at Studio 54, even when she was just a young kid. Nightlife and partying? Yeah, she was all in, and the media couldn't get enough of that juicy story. At 13 years old, Barrymore found herself in rehab, and as if that wasn't enough, she ended up spending a year and a half in a place for mentally ill people. The tough times didn't stop there. She even tried to take her own life at 14. Thankfully, she got back on track with some help from singer David Crosby and his wife, who took her under their wing for 3 months. Crosby said she needed to be around people who were all about staying sober. Barrymore opened up about all of this in a book called Little Girl Lost. When she was 13, things got so heavy that she even tried to kick her mom out of their house. That's when they decided she needed more help and sent her to rehab. It got to a point where they even cut the legal ties between her and her parents. It's called emancipation, like becoming your own person. At 14, she left rehab and wanted to jump back into acting, but her reputation as a bit of a wild child made things pretty tough. It wasn't all bad, though. She took her parents to court and got the green light to be her own boss, and at age 15, she got her own apartment. But with all this freedom, life treated her to some unexpected challenges, but she didn't let that stop her from pursuing what she loved. Barrymore didn't back down. She wasn't about to let her rocky past run her show. She kept pushing and finally hit the jackpot. She became Gertie in E.T., the extraterrestrial. Steven Spielberg, the director, saw something special in her. She wowed him with a tale about how she was leading a punk rock band, and he felt she had the right spark for the part. And wow, E.T. was like the biggest hit of the 1980s, making Barrymore this huge child star. She even snagged the Young Artist Award for Best Young Supporting Actress and got a nod for the Rising Star Award at the British Academy Film Awards. And on the 8th season of Saturday Night Live, she became the youngest person ever to host the show. She kept on acting during that time, starring in a horror movie called Cat's Eye. It got thumbs up from the critics, and Barrymore even got a Young Artist Award nomination for her performance. She could have been in Dangerous Liaisons, but Uma Thurman snagged that role. Barrymore didn't stop, though. She showed her romantic side in a movie called See You in the Morning. Some critics weren't totally feeling it, but they all agreed on one thing: Barrymore rocked it. And then there's Far From Home. She played a teen stuck in a desert town with her dad. But the flick didn't get a ton of attention, and critics weren't too kind, especially about the way they showed her character. The rebelliousness of Barrymore was evident in both print and film. Poison Ivy, a box office flop but a hit on video and television, featured her as a poor adolescent girl. On Entertainment Weekly's list of the top 26 bad girls of all time, her character Ivy came in at number 6. Drew Barrymore became so out of control that when she was 17, she posed with her then fiancé, actor Jamie Walters, for the cover and several interior photos of Interview magazine in a not so acceptable way. And of course, the media went nuts. It was a big deal. Speaking of her love life, Barrymore had a pretty interesting one. She started dating at 14, and her first taste of love was with Corey Feldman. They met while shooting a show called 15 and Getting Straight, where they played teens in a recovery program. They even went to the Oscars together in 1989, when she was 14 and he was 17. But things didn't last, and they broke up in April 1990. After breaking up with Feldman, Drew Barrymore had a short fling with Balthazar Getty, who was like this rich heir to Getty Oil and also acted in Lord of the Flies. It was back in 1990, and they were both just 15. They hung out from April till September. But you know how teenage things go, right? It was all intense, but then it just faded away. Also, in 1991, when she was just 16, she started dating Leland Hayward III, who was 24 at the time and had some serious Hollywood connections. They even got engaged for a bit, but things didn't work out, and it was another heartbreak for her. But Drew wasn't one to give up easily. She jumped right back into the dating game in 1992, this time with actor and musician Jamie Walters. She was 17 and he was 23. They were so into each other that they even got matching tattoos of each other's names. But you guessed it, things took a different turn and they broke up in 1993 before they could walk down the aisle. Still, Drew was determined to find that elusive love. And then in 1993, when she was 19, she met Jeremy Thomas, who was 31, at a bar he owned in Los Angeles. They hit it off, and just 6 weeks later, they decided to tie the knot on March 20th, 1994. Now that's moving fast, right? Drew even joked about it, saying they were doing things the old-fashioned way, in a sort of tongue-in-cheek manner. But here's where it gets even more surprising. Just 19 days after their wedding, they called it quits. Their divorce was finalized in 1995, and Drew didn't hold back when talking about it. In an interview with Rolling Stone in June, she cheekily referred to Jeremy as the devil. Drew Barrymore's love life had its fair share of twists and turns, but one moment that really stands out is when she crossed paths with musician Eric Erlandson, who happened to be part of the band Hole with her friend Courtney Love. They met during a pretty tough time for Drew. She was actually outside of an LA nightclub purge in June 1994 when Eric found her. He was a real gentleman, putting his hand on her shoulder and looking out for her safety. A couple of weeks later, Drew accidentally knocked on Eric's hotel room door. She got the room number from a photographer, but it turns out it was the wrong one. It wasn't until they bumped into each other again in Seattle while she was filming the movie Mad Love that things started to heat up between them. And before you knew it, they decided to move in together. But, well, as life goes, things don't always work out as planned. Drew and Eric called it quits in 1996, although we don't know all the details about what went down. Eric has kept pretty quiet about his relationship with Drew, but he did talk about the attention that came with it in an interview with LA Weekly. Now, after a bit of a break from the love scene, Drew was ready to give it another shot, and that's when comedian Tom Green came into the picture. They started dating in March 2000 after meeting on the set of Charlie's Angels. And they did take everyone by surprise. They pulled off a secret wedding on July 7, 2001 in Malibu, California. But, as you can probably guess, their journey wasn't all smooth sailing. Their marriage faced some pretty tough challenges, including Tom's testicular cancer diagnosis and even a house fire. Those kinds of things can really put any relationship to the test. It just goes to show that even in the world of celebrities, love has its ups and downs, and it's all part of the journey. Drew Barrymore's marriage with comedian Tom Green hit a bump in the road in December 2001 when Tom filed for divorce. In a statement, he spoke pretty fondly of Drew, saying she's a wonderful woman and that he loves her a lot. He even expressed his wishes for her happiness. Drew didn't hold back either when talking about the breakup. She opened up to Howard Stern about it and said they were young and, well, kind of idiots back then. She reflected on not knowing how to manage herself and how her personal life was a bit of a puzzle for her. She humorously mentioned that she was like a woman in the boardroom, but a child in the bedroom. Quite an analogy, isn't it? And then there's this other side of Drew's life that she's dealt with: sleep problems. She shared on a talk show in September 2020 that she'd only had 2 nights of great sleep in her life before her daughters were born. It's a bit of a mystery why sleep has been such a challenge for her, but she's not alone in that struggle. Relationships can be tough, especially when you're young and figuring things out. And sleep problems? Well, that's a common issue many people face. It just goes to show that celebrities are people too, dealing with the same human experiences as the rest of us. After her last divorce, she started dating Justin Long. Their romance bloomed, but unfortunately by July 2008, they had decided to go their separate ways. But hey, the story doesn't end there. Drew and Justin found themselves in a unique situation. While filming Going the Distance, they presented themselves as a couple, which got people talking. However, even that couldn't make their love story last, and they broke up again the following year. It's almost as if she was trying her best, but facing hurdle after hurdle in the love department. Speaking of hurdles, Drew Barrymore's journey wasn't just about romantic ups and downs. She also found herself caught up in a bit of a controversy regarding her sexuality. In an interview with ContactMusic.com in 2003, Drew made a candid statement that raised eyebrows. She openly spoke about her attraction to women, saying she liked women sexually and considered herself bisexual. She even went on to explain how she found beauty in the connection between two women, just as she did between a man and a woman. Drew Barrymore's journey has been marked not only by her personal triumphs, but also by a number of trying circumstances. In 2004, she faced the heartbreaking loss of her father's passing. Alongside this, she also experienced the estrangement of her mother for many years. Through it all, Drew shared that while she still loved her parents, she chose to forgive them for their mistakes, showing a resilience and grace that's truly admirable. But Drew's battles extended beyond her family struggles. In 2012, she embarked on her third marriage with Will Kopelman. After giving birth to her second child, she bravely opened up about facing postpartum depression, shedding light on the often unspoken challenges new mothers can experience. She didn't shy away from the difficulties she encountered while balancing her work life and parenting, acknowledging that it was a demanding journey. Drew made conscious changes to her work life to adapt to her role as a parent, a decision that many can relate to. Tragically, Drew Barrymore has also known the pain of losing loved ones to the grip of substance abuse. In 2014, she mourned the loss of her half-sister, Jessica Barrymore, who passed away due to an accidental drug overdose. The circumstances were heartbreaking. Jessica was found lifeless in her parked car, surrounded by white pills. The coroner's report revealed that her death resulted from acute intoxication caused by a combination of alcohol and multiple drugs. Drew Barrymore is an inspiration to many people who have faced adversity and trauma in their lives. She has shown that it is possible to overcome the past and create a better future. She has also shown that it is possible to be happy and successful without losing one's authenticity and kindness. She is a living example of strength, beauty, and grace. If you've enjoyed the video, be sure to check out other videos of beautiful actresses from yesteryears on the end screen. Thank you for watching.